I'm the treacherous patriot. But the news, they don't want you to know. It's one thing to have a reality TV star in the White House, but now it seems Congress has turned a Supreme Court confirmation hearing into an episode of Law and Order SVU.
I was pushed onto the bed, and Brett got on top of me. He began running his hands over my body and grinding into me.
My family and my name have been totally and permanently destroyed. I was not at the party described by Dr. Ford.
A classic case of he said, she said. All we need are two fairly plausible plot twists, one outlandish one, and Elliot Stabler aggressively pressing someone, and we'd have an SVU script.
I'm tough guy, stand up.
Sit down. Stand up. Stand up. Sit down. Sit down. Now who controls who?
This situation has so many layers, from a crystallization of the Me Too movement to highlighting our political divide as a nation, as well as our gender biases as individuals. Now, on one hand, you have straight politics, Republicans siding with Kavanaugh and Democrats with Dr. Ford. On the other hand, you have a gender divide. You have men pointing out that these are just allegations absent of any solid proof, while women who resonate with Ford's account of events hail it not only as fact, but as a symbol of their own experiences. I personally believe Dr. Ford. Her account sounds plausible. Even Trump says she was compelling and credible. Trump.
I thought her testimony was very compelling, but certainly she was a very credible witness.
But opinion is not fact. And someone pointing out that we can never really know what happened because this was nearly 40 years ago and we weren't there, or even someone saying that they believe Kavanaugh, does not mean that they support rape culture. All we have is Dr. Ford's testimony to go on. Now for my zealots on the right. The fact that Democrats are using this politically does not mean Ford is in on it. Both things can be true. Democrats could just be ginning this up to thwart Kavanaugh's confirmation with no real concern for victims of sexual assault. And Dr. Ford could be telling the truth. Dismissing this as nothing more than a political attack is more self-serving than it is honest. But what's lost in all of this is that Kavanaugh shouldn't even be in this situation in the first place. He shouldn't have a puncher's chance at a lifetime appointment to the highest court in the land. And it has nothing to do with sexual assault or his stance on Roe v. Wade. The guy's a tool, an absolute tool. And no, not like Vince Vaughn in The Breakup. I mean, he's a tool of the state. And his record as a federal judge has shown his willingness to uphold our surveillance and warfare state while restricting our civil liberties. As a judge, he's ruled in favor of stop and frisk, indefinite detention, and immunity from human rights abuses for military contractors. This guy is notorious for ruling in favor of government at the expense of your freedoms. In 2015's Clayman v. Obama, he just blatantly gave the nod to government spying, declaring suspicionless mass collection of Americans' call records is entirely consistent with the Fourth Amendment. Side note, this is completely inconsistent with the Fourth Amendment. Without so much as a warrant, it gives the state license to collect your metadata. Y'all freaked out over that presidential alert last Wednesday, like the government hasn't had access to your phones for over a decade. And Kavanaugh's record, when it comes to free speech, isn't as bad, but it's certainly not good. According to the ACLU, where the president is clear, he faithfully applies the law. Where the case law offers ambiguity, however, he has shown a willingness to restrict speech rights. Not to mention, he worked for the Bush administration and helped craft the Patriot Act, one of the most unconstitutional pieces of legislation ever. So like I said, the guy's a tool. And this time I absolutely mean the douchey kind. Yet what's just as bad is that Democrats haven't raised concerns about any of these issues because they support these erosions of freedom just as much as their Republican counterparts. This is proven by their continual votes of approval that grant the man they declare Hitler vast surveillance and war powers, while the media conveniently fails to even mention these encroachments on freedom. Sexual assault and women's health care are important issues, but these partisan battles are merely used to distract from our growing government that neither party challenge, but merely fight amongst each other to control.